family, we're back at it. Our buddy Ren dropped yesterday. I had a lot of things going on, so I couldn't get to it right away. But here we are today. Long anticipated. Alright, so we got Ren, Money Game Part 3. Sick Boy album just dropped. And I'm going to be looking forward to, checking out all that stuff. We'll get to my socials and my subscribes and all that later. But without any further ado, let's go. Ren, Money Game Part 3. I was afraid my mic wasn't on. Beautiful classical piano. Got the mask on, just like the other. This is gonna be so good. Two with a mask. So theatrical. Taking it off. It's Ren in a nice little suit. Similar to Violet's tale. Super theatrical in the beginning. That humming, or what do you want to call it, is very similar to Violet's tale. For you guys, for Yins, my Pittsburgh coming out. For you guys that know, you know. I have no idea what to expect. I expected this to be a rap song, but not sure.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17 and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18 and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself.
I don't want to interrupt, because it's like watching a play, and who wants to stop in the middle of a play and start talking, you know? Very interesting. So he's basically, I mean, that's the way you're brought up, and honestly, early on in my kids' lives, that's kind of how I brought them up. It's like, oh, you got to be successful, you got to make money, this, that, and the other. But as I grew wiser, then my advice to them changed quite a bit. But yeah, that's, you know, that's basically what we teach our kids.
So take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35, he gets the call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
There's a bunch of callbacks to other of Ren's things. This is a master storyteller, and to shape all this into a coherent rap is just amazing. We'll talk about the whole story and the parables and the things we learned from that at the end. I don't want to go on long tirades.
Buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
This is giving me Tales of Jenny and Screech, High Ren, very theatrical. I know that he was working on this and wanted to live up to that legacy. Whoa. Interesting.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed.
We still got a couple minutes. This is freaking genius. Because he stops when I thought we were going to get a monologue, but it's a rap, a monologue inside a rap, or a rap inside a monologue. And like I said, we'll discuss at the end. Just freaking genius.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
I knew the suit represented that, basically, we'll talk about it.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
Is that rain or the gasoline from the other one?
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father. It's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Wow. Wow, just give me a second to digest. I wanted to cry in the middle of it because I know exactly what he's talking about. There's a system, and see, and here's the thing: is I got it from a child's perspective, from a dad's perspective, and now from a person who all that's over with. I'm not old, but you know what I'm saying. And it's going to take me a second. Number one, I wanted to point out in the beginning when I'm sorry, I'm making everything shake. In the beginning, when he had the suit on. And Ren mentioned that he's playing this game. We're all playing this game. Ren's at a point in his life where he was just an artist, and now he's become popular and he's making money. So I think the suit was his acknowledgement that he's a part of this same system. We all are. I mean, honestly, because to survive today, you have to play the game. You have to. I mean, unless you're physically able to go out in the woods, cut down some trees, build yourself a cabin, hunt and fish. I'm not in that. I mean, midlife I could have, but I'm just not in that place where that's possible. I'm running into an issue now. I was driving Uber, and Uber is a huge corporation that there's many flaws, and just something as simple as turning in or submitting a document that you need can turn into a nightmare with that company. And there's no one to talk to other than people that don't understand English, don't understand the situation, and quite frankly, they're just living their lives and they don't frequently don't care. And it's just you just get in a cycle where you can't fix anything. So I'm kind of jobless right now. So, but I have to play that game. But I'll ride through the city, and inner city is the best place to see this. It's like all these people going all these different places and being busy, and all the homeless people on streets. And we all just live these lives, play this game. All this, I mean, honestly, because you need a house, you need food, you need shelter, family. That I mean, that's all as humans. That's all we really need. And we've made up this whole world full of just playing the game for this piece of paper that we all just decide is worth something. I mean, at least with gold, it's a nice shiny rock you can make jewelry out of, but it's still, only as much. It's worth as much as the value we put on it. But we do all this for this little piece of freaking paper that we've all decided means something. And we go to these jobs and provide these services that, if you think about it, I mean, how many services and jobs that people have are necessary for functioning life? I mean, not a big percentage. And here's the thing. There's one thing to wish for this utopian thing. The problem is for that to work, you need to fix human nature. Ren's right. I mean, you got to stop teaching your kids that success is all that matters. I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm 52. At the end of the day, all that matters is you have a house or some sort of shelter, you have food, and then you have your family. That's all that freaking matters. None of this other shit matters. None of the other stuff makes a damn bit of difference. I've made 6 figures. I've had multiple new cars. I had a beautiful wife. I had everything I could ever wanted. And it didn't mean anything. I'm probably more happy now with hardly anything. I mean, I have a decent car. I have an old house. I'm with my family as far as my father, elderly father, my older brother. My kids are close. I get to see my kids on a regular basis. I don't need a mansion. I don't need I don't need to be rich. I don't need fancy cars. I don't need any of that stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's just not necessary. And most people that get to a certain age, they realize that they just wasted their lives going after something that wasn't necessary. And your father's, you notice when his father died, and that's when everything went downhill? Because he wasn't living his life. He was living his father's expectation of a life. And that's one thing that I wised up before my kids were teenagers. And I completely let them make their own decisions about their lives, their religion they worship, about a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I made sure they were good people and good citizens and taught them the important things. But I left those decisions up to them and explained to them that, look, you got to find what makes you happy. You got to find what fulfills you. So they weren't living my life or my dream or whatever. I didn't want to put that on my kids. I've had that put on me, and I've seen other people have that put on them. And it's your, at the end of the day, it's your life. You need to live the life you want to live. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's a dream. It's a dream, and I think that the only thing for saving grace now is I think enough of us see the folly of our ways. It doesn't mean that we're stopping doing what we're doing, because the world just doesn't. You can't stop the world on a dime. But at the very least, people are opening their eyes and discovering at a younger age that the game that's set up isn't necessarily the one that you want to play or you want to live. So I appreciate you, Ren fans, UK fans. It took me a minute to get to this, but I'm happy I did. Just a genius classic, right up there with High Ren, right up there. And I'm proud of Ren. I'm happy that he was able to do this. You will see me again, guys. Peace and love.